All right. Now we're going to be talking about creative fields such as graphic design and how ideas flow in a group or an organization. As you can see in this graphic, an idea starts with an individual. And as that idea is expressed and shared with other individuals, they give feedback. They add to the idea, or they subtract from the idea. The idea works its way up, around, through, and back down within the group until you develop a well-polished idea that, again, you might have a lot of mistakes, you might have false starts, you might have missteps, all right? But as you refine that idea and as you refine that message, you'll come up with a very creative way of delivering that message in a concept. Ad agencies, graphic designers, marketing departments rely on this creativity. All right? It means you must be open to a creative workplace. But again, any workplace is going to have structure. All right? You might have limitations on how much time you can spend on a project. You might have budget restraints when it comes to dealing with a project. That doesn't mean you can't come up with a creative solution. You just need to look at those obstacles as a way to work together as a team, use a step-by-step process to overcome those obstacles and come up with a messaging solution. The creative process basically starts with a brief. This is like the customer's initial meeting. This is what they want. This is what their budget is. This is what they don't want. This is the who this is the message is for. What this message is supposed to deliver. When you need to deliver this message. Why am I even doing this message? All right. This is the part of the process where you need to ask a lot of questions. Bounce ideas. All right. Once you get that brief down, then you start doing your research. Did somebody else do something similar to this? Maybe what a competitor might have done. What's the history based on your understanding of the message they want to deliver? All right. How do you want to direct, mold, or develop that message? Do the research. And as you can see, number 3, inspiration, that's just a little bit apart. All right. There's some set rules in delivering a message. All right. Usually is keep it simple. Keep it where most people can understand it. But if you can find that little bit of inspiration to make it unique, all right, that's what you need. Then once you've got that inspiration, you kind of done your research, you kind of know what the client wants, you start sketching and conceptualizing. How do I make this work? How can we make this work? Is this a print medium? Is it a video medium? Is it a multimedia presentation? Is it something that we could do with a billboard? Is it something we could do with flyers? Is it something we could do with radio? How are we going to put this message together? What the message is going to look like? What's it going to sound like? What's it going to feel like? All right. All that comes into sketching and conceptualization. What's the color of my message? What's the emotional message I want to bring? What's the information I want to bring? How am I going to bring that message? All right. And then reflection. Very few ideas that are done successfully don't allow for some time to reflect, all right, get feedback from peer groups, get feedback from focus groups, get feedback from surveys. Does this message work? Did you understand this message? Didn't you understand this message? Then once you get that feedback, you start doing number 6, the revisions. All right. Then once you develop that message and make sure it meets your branding needs, make sure it needs your messaging needs, it's got the right mood, the right tone, the right concept, Then you present it to your client. You present it to the people that hired you to do the work. All right? And by this time, you better know it inside and out, upside down, backwards and forwards, facts, figures, images, and the message. And if they ask you a question, don't lie, but say, listen, I don't know, but I'll get back to you. But if you say, I'll get back to you after 10 questions over and over again, I'll get back to you, I'll get back to you, I'll get back to you, you're probably not going to get the work. All right? And then make sure that you deliver what you promise. Make sure what you said you're going to do, you do. All right? I know that there's a reputation has a lot to do in other industries, but being creative and working for a creative group, delivery of the product on time, on budget, and what was described is how you build your reputation. Did you do what you say you were going to do? You need to make sure that your brand does what it says it's going to do. All right, graphic designers are the voice and the image of their clients. It's not about you, it's about your client. It's not about what you think is the best idea. It's taking that best idea and convincing your client that it's the best idea. But sometimes clients have difference of opinion. They might have some insight that you don't have. All right? But you need to be able to provide all the services that your client needs. You need to be able to collaborate with your client. You need to make the client a part of your design team. Okay? When you are dealing with a new client, you need to ask who they are. What are their goals as a company, and what are the goals of the project that they want you to work on? What's the budget? When do they want it done? Can it be done in that time frame? Is it a multimedia? Is it a multi-project? I mean, it's one thing to say, I need you to design me a logo. It's another thing to say, I need you to design me a logo, a website, get all our print material together, get all our digital marketing material together. I need you to handle our social media. We want to know if you can handle our events presentations, our packaging, our videos. You know, a lot of questions need to be asked. You need to make sure that as a graphic designer, you are a good fit for the client. Research the project goals. Again, what have other teams done on similar projects? What has worked on similar projects in the past? What has failed in the past? What is your experience with similar projects? What do you think will work in the future? And how do you support this projection? How do you support your idea that I think this is what's going to work? It might not work now, but it might work 2 years from now. All right. Does the images and message fit the brand of the client? All right. If I'm designing a marketing campaign for a bubblegum company, I don't think I want to market cigarettes that come in bubblegum. All right. I don't think I want to offer something that's dangerous that a child might do in their branding of their new message. All right. Always think about how the message could be misinterpreted. Could this message be misunderstood? Okay. And then again, how can I get feedback on the ideas, but maybe do it in a closed, versatile environment? Do we want to do a marketing survey? Do we want to do a survey within our classroom? Do we want to invite other classes at GICA to be part of our survey, to get feedback from? All right. All those things are things we have to do in a creative group. Again, inspiration can come suddenly and brilliantly, or it can be worked over time. Okay? But again, sometimes they come out of the blue. All right? Sometimes individuals seem to have all the inspiration. There's one guy in the group that seems to always come up with a great idea. All right? But is it the best idea? but make sure that you write them down. Okay? You need to learn to doodle and think your ideas out in a drawing. All right? Little drawings like doodles, they let the mind wander. Okay? And when those random neurons are bouncing around in your brain, it might make the right connections, and those right connections lead to a great idea and inspiration. Some of the things you can do is brainstorm. Okay? Spider map or mind map. Play word games. All right? Sometimes those will connect the dots of creativity. Then once you do that, you're looking for inspiration, think of design elements like color. What's the color of my idea? What should my idea look like? If my idea was a person, who would that person be? If my idea could talk, what would it tell me about itself? All right? Be able to bounce your ideas off of everybody you meet. Family, friends, and strangers. Get feedback. Start sketching and conceptualizing the project. Start to think how your message should look like, sound like, feel like, taste like. How your message is to be delivered, who is to deliver it. Okay? Alright? By now you should have a good idea of how your message will be delivered. When you get to the part where you're sketching and conceptualizing, you should know how the message will be delivered, whether it's going to be print, video, radio, website, social media, all the above. Start wording the message. Start thinking about the colors. Start looking at how the elements of the design will help shape and deliver your message. Start refining, improving, and creating content for your message. And if it ain't working, start over.